What's happening, guys? Welcome back. We're here with another video. I wanted to start today off a little bit different. Um, I know I've been a little MIA lately. We've been working a whole lot. We've actually had a lot going on as of late. But I have a really cool story I wanted to share with you guys, and then we'll go ahead and jump in to our videos. I'm going to be posting a couple today. So, like I said, as you know, I haven't really been posting a whole lot lately. We've been very busy updating things here at the homestead. I've also been doing some of our kind of like landscaping, setting up flower beds for different reasons and stuff like that. I did a homestead update where we were doing a flower bed over by our bar, and I've actually added about 4 or 5 more flower beds since then. We've moved our nursery. We've done all kinds of stuff. We also adopted a new puppy, so we've had to change some of the things that we were doing and the way we were doing some things. Um, but I went and to the store. I went and got some pizza the other day, and I was stopped by one of the workers there over at Domino's, and they told me that one of the gentlemen there, he told me he recognized me, and he really appreciated the content we made, and it was just really humbling and exciting to know that you guys are kind of keeping up, and that not only are you learning and increasing your knowledge, I'm able to help you in some way with our material. So I just thought that was really cool. And shout out to that guy. I didn't have a chance to learn his name. It was just kind of like an in passing, but it was just really cool to be recognized. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna be doing different videos. We've experimented with some Bokashi composting. Ooh, getting a little fancy. We have done some updates out back. I'll be posting a video on that. And I've also been doing some old guerrilla growing techniques, which we're working on tweaking as per usual, you know. And so we'll go ahead and jump in. So, but for this one, we are going to be studying or learning about Bokashi composting. This stuff is awesome. Ours has been going for a week or so now. Um, it's been about a month researching it. Basically, to just get you guys started on Bokashi, I did a quick Google search, and so about like who invented it and stuff like that. You know, I love my history. So the best search I came up with was by a website. I'm gonna spell it out because I'll probably slaughter the name. It's FORBESINDIA.com. So basically, it says the agronomist. Uh, can't say his first name, which is Teuro, and the last name is Higa. But it was invented by a Japanese. Bokashi composting was invented by a Japanese biologist and agronomist. It says his name again in the 1980s. So bokashi is a composting method based on bacteria called effective microorganisms. Basically, it's not actually a compost; it's a type of fermentation, very similar to alcohol fermentation, yet completely different. Uh, it's bacteria called effective microorganisms or compost activators. The objective is to ferment your organic waste with effective microorganisms by placing them in an airtight container. And that's pretty much the key, is just making sure it's airtight and has a way of dripping excess fluid. Now, what do we use ours for? As you know, whenever you're composting, our compost has limits. For example, I do not add manures. I do not have any beneficial manures to use. Um, for example, chicken manure, it's something that can be mixed into mulch, break down naturally, and be spread across your garden. Oh, excuse me. And of course, we have dogs and cat manure, which we're not going to be adding in our garden, but we can add things like that into our ornamental garden. Our dogs generally go to the bathroom outside, so that'll pretty much fertilize our grass. Um, Also, things like dairy, meats, just different types of things that you can't add to your compost. All of those can be added to your Bokashi compost, and it's because it's airtight. It doesn't smell. Um, it's really cool. And so originally, those of you that know, if you haven't seen the video of our cat litter, go ahead and stop this video. Go check out our cat litter video so this makes a little more sense. Um, yes, you can use clay litter, but we do use our pet bedding here. And so basically, the way we use it is we have two buckets is our design, and the first bucket has a bunch of holes drilled in the bottom. The second bucket is just a standard bucket with no lid. So the bucket with holes gets slid on top and into stacked to the bucket without holes, and a lid is placed on the top. Now, when we started the bucket, we took our Bokashi brand. That's what this is called, and this is basically just like a wheat bran or something mixed with the proper, I think it's like ME1 or MC1 or something like that is the name of the main ingredient. But our all seasons Bokashi here has other things like yeast, I believe. Um, it's a little bit more in depth of a mix. It's to kind of help guarantee you what you're buying. So for now, of course, we're going to buy it, but later on, we're probably going to try and make our own Bokashi brand, which you can also do. In fact, there are ways of harvesting your own micro beneficial bacteria and microorganisms. But I'm probably going to slaughter this, so bear with me. I believe it's called lactocilic bacteria or something like that. It's lactose something, but basically that's going to be that EM1 or EC1 or whatever I had mentioned. That the main bacteria behind the Bokashi brand. So, anyways, whenever we got the system started, we stacked our buckets, took the lid off. I sprinkled some Bokashi in there, and then we just take. You can dump the litter in there. I find it to be a little bit redundant. So what we do is we take the manure out of the kitty litter, put that into the bucket, sprinkle in some Bokashi mix, all of the food scraps from the house. We also add that in there. Our meats and things that we traditionally would be throwing away, trying to take that out of the landfill. And again, we sprinkle some Bokashi on that. Now, for our litter, whenever we sift our litter, because they come in pellets, so as the kitties pee, every couple of days we need to sift that litter. And when we do, we basically just take that and fill holes in the yard that the dogs have dug, and it tends to actually help not only stop them from digging, but also it retains moisture very well. So the plants have been begun to kind of absorb it. And again, we do all of this on the top side of our property, well away from our edible garden. And all of these practices are, things. So like Bokashi, because it's a fermentation and it's fairly acidic, most things that like are parasites, E. coli, stuff like that can't actually survive. So it is a fairly safe and efficient method. And you're going to bury it in the end. So it's also going to help attract worms. It's basically pre-composted food, so to speak, for the soil. So it's not the same as compost. You can't just add it on top. But it is a really cool method of processing things that traditionally would get thrown in the landfill and produce extra methane gases and stuff. Like I said, that's pretty much it for the majority. Bokashi is not very complex. Um, Before we were Bokashi composting, we actually just had the traditional trash can outside. We would tie off all the poop in little poop bags, throw that out. Trash can gets full. We take that to the road. I just got tired of smelling it mostly. Um, Bokashi is an indoor composting technique. That's why it was developed in Japan. It's something that could easily be put near the trash cans in your home, and it stays fairly clean, fairly efficiently. When you do open it, it actually doesn't smell like rotten food or anything. It's supposed to smell more along the lines of like something that's been pickled. So it's actually supposed to smell kind of good. I mean, it's not gonna smell fabulous, but like it's not gonna smell bad either. Um, if it does, that actually means that you're not doing it correctly, which is pretty awesome. That means, hey, I don't like the smell, so I need to add more bokashi. Change out the water, and make sure there's no water in the bottom, whatever it is. Make sure it's airtight. Um, yeah, so pretty much, you like I said, you just add in your scraps, your bran, close that lid off, and that's it. Um, Traditionally, once you fill up the bucket, the compartment, the bucket on the bottom that's catching all the liquid, you're gonna want to toss that. Put the buckets back together and then store somewhere for 2 to 4 weeks before you again bury it. Excuse me, a couple inches under the ground, and that's pretty much what we've learned from so far. I have been oddly satisfied with this system just because it came out the door swinging. I mean, in terms of efficiency, we were just trying to replace the system that we already had that I was describing. Traditionally, it was outside and everything, but you can bleach the buckets. I use 5-gallon pickle buckets that I had gotten from like fast food restaurants and stuff. I just called every restaurant in our location and I said, "Hey, when you get free food grade buckets, please call me. I will come pick them up by the end of the day," sort of scenario. And of course, I also check up regularly. That way, it didn't cost me anything. I already had the drill bit, so I just used about an eighth. And I just kind of guessed about an eighth of an inch drill bit. Hit a bunch of holes in the bottom of that first bucket, and boom, we were on our way to Bokashi composting. And like I said, just absolutely satisfied with it. I don't really have any negative comments. Even if I did try, uh, yeah, like this all seasons. If you're getting started, this is the way to go. They do not sponsor me, but the all seasons has a much more in depth and elaborate microorganism setup in it. So it is built to make first timers experiences very well rounded and easy for us. Um, so yeah, that's like I said. If y'all have any questions, man, don't be afraid to drop a comment. I love interacting with you guys. It's probably part of my favorite time of day. Um, and don't forget to like, subscribe. We will see you on the next video. Be kind out there. Peace. And you know what? If you see me in public, don't be afraid to stop and tell me hi. Like I said, I love interacting with you guys. It's a pretty fun part of my day. So we'll see you on the next video.